While I am always encouraging you to get into your journal, I'll be the first to admit that I too struggle sometimes to make it a daily habit. And it still doesn't happen every single day. But I have made a concerted effort this year to be in my journal more and to bring back daily entries. So today I want to share with you how I create daily entries and talk about how I'm taking some of the pressure off of this practice and how I'm keeping it fun. And one thing that is always fun and sparks my creativity is getting a few new journaling supplies. So we are going to start this video with a quick journaling haul from Obujo. If you are not familiar with Obujo, allow me to introduce you to my favorite journaling shop. They are an online shop and they have so many different supplies from stickers to washi tape and paper and everything in between to take your creative journaling to the next level. And this box that they sent me is actually a collection of some of their newest supplies that they send out through a subscription box every month. So you can use their subscription service if you just want to be surprised by all of the wonderful supplies they will send your way and to really get you being creative. Or you can pick out your supplies and just look through their catalog and select the things that you are most interested in using. I will have links to some of the supplies below. I admit that I could not find all of them. They might not have been released yet, but the ones that are will be linked in the description. I will also have a link to the shop in general in the description, along with a discount code. If you use My Abiding Journal, you will get 10% off, and the supplies are just so amazing. I mean, look at these book papers. This was probably my favorite item from the entire haul, and I'm really excited to share with you how I use one of these pages to create my journal entry in just a moment. While I really love Obujo and think their prices are very reasonable, they even have a dollar shop where everything costs $1. And they have flat rate shipping of $5.99 US worldwide, or it's completely free if you spend more than $30, which is very easy to do because there are so many amazing supplies that are sure to pique your interest. But I do want to say that there's no pressure with this, and I never want you to feel like you have to get new supplies to be inspired or that you need certain supplies in order to be creative and to journal in a beautiful way. You really can use what is already at your disposal. And I have many other videos where I talk about looking at what you already have. So I think that is important to keep in mind when looking at journaling hauls, but I do also think that there is nothing wrong with buying a few new supplies to spark your inspiration and to get excited about journaling again, and Obujo is really a great place to do that. So with that haul now done, let's actually use these supplies to create a few daily entries in my journal. You're going to see a lot of the supplies that I got from that haul come up in this entry because I really wanted to challenge myself to try to create spreads where I really was only using these supplies. Sometimes by limiting our options, we actually expand our creativity. So if you find yourself in a creative rut, maybe look around your desk or at your supplies and pick out just 5 to 7 items and force yourself to only create an entry using those. And you might be surprised by some of the creative ways you would apply those items. So this particular entry, as you can see here, is focused on my Saturday memories. And on this day, we had a really nice, slow morning. We made coffee and had breakfast together. And later in the afternoon, we then went for a walk. So those are the main highlights that I wanted to bring to the page in a creative way so that the memories came to life with just a glance, even if I wasn't reading the actual writing about the day. And so the way that I did that was with my little coffee sticker, which is a printable from my Patreon, and then used this beautiful inverted stencil that when you put the ink over it gives you the outline of a bare tree, which is definitely fitting for a walk in February. And my favorite part of this entry are these words, "Just love life where you are," a fitting quote for a very mundane but beautiful day. My next entry in this journal is one of the ways that I'm keeping the pressure off and making sure that my journal remains fun and exciting to me, and that is by switching things up and not only making every single entry a recap of my day, but also adding in the other factors of life too. And one of the big factors of my life is always the books that I'm reading and enjoying. So for this entry, I wanted to create a review page for my most recently completed novel. So I, of course, had to use that gorgeous paper that I got from Obujo. I am sure that I'm going to use it again and again in future reading journal entries. But I also wanted to bring in some of the fun script washi tape, as well as my own sticker from my book lover collection on Patreon, and then write a review of the book that I just finished, which was Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. Now, when I originally wrote that title, I did not like the way that it looked, so I just covered it up with again another piece of that paper and some of the washi tape and tried again, and I actually liked the look so much more as a result. I also brought in this really beautiful piece that has this child on it with a number because Demon Copperhead is actually a retelling, a modern retelling of Demon. Ben always makes fun of me because I keep switching the titles of these novels every time I say them. It is a retelling of David Copperfield, not Demon Copperfield, not David Copperhead. I continuously change the titles of those books. It is a retelling of Charles Dickens' novel called Demon. I just did it again. It's called David Copperfield. There we go. I hope to talk about it maybe more in a future video because I would like to talk about books more here on my channel. If that is something that you would be interested in, please let me know in the comments. But now that I have stumbled through that title, we are already on to the next entry. This again is a memory keeping entry that is recapping a day in my life. This happened to be Sunday, the 12th, which was Super Bowl Sunday, always a big deal here in the United States. And what I discovered is that I actually very much enjoy the Super Bowl when I am watching it with other people who are not very interested in the actual game. So we got together with some friends who also didn't really care about the game. We all were sort of there for the good time of hanging out and enjoying the food and snacks together. So I wrote in my journal entry that this was probably the first time that I did not mind a game going into overtime because I welcomed the extra time to spend with friends. One thing you will notice about this entry is that I kept changing things and adding, and just quite frankly was never totally content with the look of this entry. It continuously felt like it wasn't working for me, and even the final product, I would say, I am not the biggest fan of. And so that would be probably my final tip of advice as you're watching this entry come together, is to keep going when you make an entry that you're not that happy with. Because even when I'm not totally satisfied with the creative aspect of a journal entry and how it looks, I always am happy to have those memories recorded. This was a great day, and I enjoy getting to look back on it because I took the time to create an entry that would call all of those memories back to the forefront of my mind. And that ultimately is the point of my journal, and it inspires me and encourages me that even when the creativity isn't quite there, and maybe I don't create a work of art that's going to hang in a museum gallery, I still have the beauty of the memories. So I hope that that is encouraging to you, whether you are trying to do your own daily practice or just make journaling a more regular part of your life, especially in a creative way. It can be really tempting to get down on ourselves when we aren't able to create the aesthetic entry that we might see online, and we feel like our journal doesn't quite measure up. But always remember that you can turn the page and begin again, and it's all a learning process, and you will grow in your own style the more that you journal. So just keep at it and know that whatever you are creating is going to be beautiful because it is a reflection of you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Before we close, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of my patrons for supporting my channel and making these videos possible. And I wanted to share an opportunity on Patreon that you might not be aware of, which is my 4th tier and my highest tier, which is called the Abiding Joy tier. And it is really my tier where you get access to everything on my Patreon. That includes our monthly journaling club, access to polls in which you get to help design our new printable stickers for every month, and unlock access to an entire archive of past stickers in my digital shop. You also will get access to an archive of exclusive videos, our monthly live streams, all of my Abiding Faith content, and so much more. So I would love to have you join our community on any tier. But when you join the Abiding Joy tier, you'll also receive a handwritten thank you note from me, along with some special supplies from my own journaling stash in the form of Happy Mail. I send Happy Mail when you first join, and starting this year, I'm also going to be sending Happy Mail again semi-annually to my patrons on that tier in July and January. So if that interests you, I encourage you to learn more over on my Patreon, or I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video.